Hi everyone, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Frankly Speaking. On this series, we invite guests to come on to have frank conversations about everything related to your mental health and wellness. I am your host Beverly from Frankie. At Frankie, we are a mental health and wellness application, and we believe that a better you begins with just one small task a day. Today we have a very special guest here with us. We have Dr. Martha Lee from Eros Coaching. Dr. Martha Lee is a relationship counselor as well as a clinical sexologist at Eros Coaching. Today she's going to speak with us on the topic of toxic relationships. What exactly is a toxic relationship? How do you define a toxic relationship? Also, how do you know that you are actually in a toxic relationship yourself? I'll invite Dr. Martha on board real soon. Yes, thank you so much for joining. Hi Anthony, and welcome Nada as well. Let me invite Dr. Martha on board our live in just a second. Okay. Martha.
Hi Anthony, welcome. Thanks for joining us on our live. Hi Danica, and also hi Nora. Give you guys a sneak peek of what's going to happen today. Dr. Martha Lee will speak on the topic of toxic relationships. Dr. Martha Lee is a relationship counselor and also a clinical sexologist at Eros Coaching. Eros Coaching specializes in relationship and sexuality coaching in Singapore. Let me invite Dr. Martha on board. Okay, Dr. Martha will be joining us in just a second. For all of you guys who just joined us, Frankie is a mental health and wellness application, and we believe that a better you begins with just one small task a day. Our application will be launching towards the end of October. Our beta waitlist is now open. If you guys are interested in joining us, head over to the link in our bio, click on the link, and then search for our beta waitlist. Hi Hajika, thanks for joining us. Okay, let me try to invite Dr. Martha on board. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for joining us this evening. Oh, hi.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Cannot hear you.
No?
Okay, I'm going to try.
Can you hear me, Dr. Martha?
Okay, I have to turn off my microphone.
Okay, sure, no worries.
Am I the correct screen size?
You need to rotate your phone the other way.
Yeah. So you told me the one works, but it doesn't work.
Sorry, come again?
Okay, never mind.
I think Oh yes, now it's perfect. I see you now.
Yes.
Hi.
I cannot put it on my tripod.
Audio is good. Okay, thank you so much, Nada. Hi, Chandrika. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, it's now like that.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, hi everyone. Thanks to the people here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yes, nice.
It doesn't work. What filter is this? The dog.
I love the filter that you have on.
Okay, let's use this filter.
Oh no.
It's the hard one.
It's a little laggy on my end. Can all our audiences, everyone who is joining us, can you guys hear us okay? Yes, we can. Okay, that's great. Can you guys hear both Dr. Martha and myself? Not laggy for us. Okay.
Tripod doesn't work. Thank you everybody for being here. I'm trying to find a filter that makes my face less. Is there a filter? What's this filter?
Hi, Dr. Martha. I can't really hear you on my end. On your end, can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you very well.
Oh, okay, that's great. Then maybe it's just something on my end. I think you are all right now. I see that you're playing with the different filters, am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. I think once you settle on the filter, then we should be all good.
Okay, this one. I think my face looks better. Sorry, everybody.
No worries, it's quite fun to
Okay,
play with
let's
the filter.
continue. Sorry.
No worries. Okay, so welcome. Thank you so much for being a guest on our series, Frankly Speaking, Dr. Martha. So for everyone that's here joining us today we'll be talking on the topic of toxic relationships. So Dr. Martha is a relationship counselor as well as a clinical sexologist at Eros Coaching. So Dr. Martha, tell me more about yourself.
Yes, I'm a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist. I've been practiced for 12 years, working with individuals and couples with all kinds of relationship and sexuality challenges and issues. I work with a lot of people in who have difficulties consummating their marriage, who have inhibited sexual expression, and I also run my own events. Yeah.
Nice. So,
Oh yeah, wait. So I also the locum sexuality counselor for Cancer Society, and I also do some work with Disabled People's Association, and I work 4 days a week at the moment in one of the sex shops in Singapore called Pink Lifestyle. Yeah, very
cool.
busy.
So, thank you so much for sharing that, Dr. Mata. Actually, I'm very, very curious myself. What is the journey towards, becoming a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist? Did you always aspire to do this when you're younger, or did it develop slowly throughout your career?
Okay, I have always been curious about human psychology, and I found myself reading about relationship books since I was very young, say like primary 5. And I've always been fascinated with the way people think and feel. And then I went through my own personal heartbreaks, and I wanted to help other people. So I stumbled upon volunteer counseling, and that's how I got some basic training and realized that I had an affinity for it. I was good at it, and then decided to go on and pursue more trainings. So it's actually a lot of training. I went through a lot of training in order to have the confidence and the skills in order to help people. I wanted to make sure that I had as much training and skills as I could to help as my clients properly, because you don't know what you don't know. So there are a lot of people out there who call themselves coaches, who think that they know everything. But if you really don't have thorough training, you could actually do a lot of damage. So I've always felt that I wanted to be as trained as I can, and I'm actually still going through a lot of training. And I think the learning that really doesn't end, and it's okay for me because it's part of my passion as well. So I think it has to do with it's really a passion and a calling. Yeah.
Yeah. That is great. That is great. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's great that you found your calling in your career, and then like you mentioned, you went to study and go further as you went along. So, Dr. Martha, I'm curious, what is your day-to-day life like as a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist?
Every day is different because I have multiple jobs and roles. It didn't become this way. I didn't have all these doors open for me immediately and also not for many years. It really only changed after being in practice for 10 years. And people realized that I was no spring chicken, that I actually have a lot of experience, and that's how more opportunities started to open up. So it's really not been easy. And yeah. So there's no real
I'm sorry, Dr. Martha, I think you're frozen on my end. Can you hear me all right? Everyone else on the live, can you guys hear me? Or can you guys hear Dr. Martha? Hi guys, so sorry for the technical difficulties. Can you guys hear me? You guys can hear me? Okay, let me invite Dr. Martha on board. So sorry, I think today we're having just one of those off days. Okay, let me invite Dr. Martha Lee on board again. Okay. Thank you guys for sticking by all this. Shireen, we can hear you. Thank you. Hi, Dr. Martha.
I'm so sorry. Do you think we should re-record the whole thing? This
Is
is like pathetic. I'm so sorry, everybody.
It's okay, Dr. Mata. Maybe we can go through the front part again. So, hi everybody, welcome to everyone who just joined. Hi Theodora, welcome to our live. So, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. So, tonight we have Dr. Mata Lee with us. Dr. Mata Lee is a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist at Eros Coaching. So, tonight we're actually talking about the topic of toxic relationships. Dr. Mata is sharing more about her practice, her career, and then also what she does at Eros Coaching. So
Yes, that's me.
cool. Okay. I think Dr. Mata, I think it's the filter that is creating the lag. I think maybe if it's off, then I think it'll be smoother.
Okay, I turned it off already.
Okay.
I look ugly though.
No, you look great.
Okay, yeah, thank you everybody. Yeah, I feel the lighting is very harsh on my skin. Thank you everybody. Okay, so just to reiterate what I covered just now before we got cut off. Yes, so I've been in practice for 12 years, working with individuals and couples with all kinds of relationship and sexuality challenges. And there's no one same day. Every day is different, and it sounds amazing until you realize how stressful it is and unsettling for the body and mind. And so this is why it's really important to, I've learned over the years, to have um, fixed off days, because my body and mind will actually look forward to it. And so the last few months has been really stressful because I actually have multiple jobs. I have my Eros coaching where I work with clients and run my own events. And I also am the locum sexuality counselor for Cancer Society. Every other week, I go in to see clients with cancer or their families. I also work with Disabled People's Association. I get clients through that as well. And I also work at a sex shop, sex toy shop. It's not my shop, but I do work there 4 days a week at Pink Lifestyle. So every day is different, and I try to maximize my time and be present. And being an introvert is really important, that I also have time that I don't see people, and I take it easy and be gentle with myself. With COVID, I think a lot of people are unraveling at the edges. And for myself, because I have so many roles, it's really important to do less. Less is more, actually.
Yeah, I think during COVID, new challenges arise. So thank you so much for sharing about your background and also what you do and the challenges that you face. So today with Dr. Mata, we are speaking on the topic of toxic relationships. So maybe Dr. Mata, can I ask you, how would you define a toxic relationship?
Yeah, so this term is thrown around very easily by a lot of people, and I myself am guilty of having told clients that they are in toxic relationships, and sometimes giving them this label actually causes them to shut down even more. So over time, I've also learned to be more sensitive about the term toxic relationship. When they come in to see me, if you have a partner who is constantly being one of the persons in the relationship is constantly being interrupted, that is already a very good sign that somehow their thoughts and feelings are being ignored or dismissed. If you are in a relationship where you feel scared, you feel unsafe, you feel like you're walking on eggshells, that definitely is also another sign of being in a relationship, that you feel stifled, that you feel you have to be careful, and you are not being free and happy to be yourself. So there are many signs, and it is something that you intuitively, physically feel in your body, especially if you feel sick in the stomach, you feel scared, if you find yourself having meltdowns for no reason, because you already can anticipate what your partner is going to say. These are all signs that it's toxic.
So actually, what are the things that someone can do when let's say I realize that maybe I am very wary about around my partner. I recognize some of the signs that you mentioned. So what can I do when let's say I think that maybe perhaps I'm in a toxic relationship? What is the next step from there?
It's really important to try to get external help. For instance, going to a counselor to learn the skills that you and your partner do not have to navigate the relationship. And if the counselor is not the best person for you, they have the obligation to refer you to somebody else who might be better and more experienced. I do find a lot of clients, they try to find a counselor and they may not have a good experience. So it's really important to be careful and look for somebody that you know specializes in these issues. So some keywords would be codependency. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, okay. So, Dr. Mata, in the context of sex and relationships, what does a toxic relationship there look like?
In the context of
The bedroom.
sex,
Mm-hmm.
the relationship would be such that you would be very scared that you are doing the wrong thing, and you're afraid to be yourself. And I think a lot of this manifests in arguing about the frequency of sex. You will have somebody feeling that they may not feel like it, but they cannot say it. And they may just lie there and just have sex, go through the motions. It's very mechanical because they want to avoid any fallout, which often includes fighting about the lack of sex. And it becomes such that the frequency of sex is manipulated. They feel like they are being manipulated and controlled by their partner, and they don't feel free to be themselves. And it's very much one-sided. It feels like a duty, it feels like a chore, it's like giving it to your partner just so they will not shout, scream, cry, yell, and punish you in other ways outside of the bedroom.
So, is there a way to talk to your partner about it? Like to broach the topic about, let's say I feel like my partner is being a bit forceful, or I feel like maybe I'm in a situation where I lack autonomy or power. So, how do I go about talking to my partner about it?
Yeah, it's very, very sensitive and difficult because there's a lot of cultural and religious and childhood programming that has gone into us. And I don't want to make it a gender thing because it can apply for all genders. And it is definitely a very difficult thing to bring up. So there's no one size fits all, depending on your partner and their personality and their preferred communication style. You may want to broach this very carefully. The time, the place, the tone, the mood, all these things plays a part. And it can sometimes be useful to even share this with your partner via a letter so that you have time to prepare what you want to say, and they also have the time to realize how serious and you are about this topic and how difficult it is for you to talk about it. So changing your communication style sometimes can get the message across. Whatever way we want to get across the message, it's really important to be as loving as possible.
Okay, yeah, I think thank you for sharing that. I think communicating with your partner about it is sometimes tricky, and like you mentioned, there are a lot of nuances as to how one will approach the topic. So it's great to have your professional insight on it.
Thank you.
So I think right now we can open the floor to questions. I see we already have some questions from our guests today. So there's a question from Shirin. She's asking, as a friend or outsider, how would you look out for some signs of a toxic relationship?
Yes, it is a really good question, and I'm glad you're asking this because it shows that you care about your friend, and naturally we want to protect them. So if you are asking this question, maybe you already think of someone in your life that may be in a relationship that is unhealthy and making them feel scared. And as a bystander, I have been in toxic relationships, and I wish that my friends had actually pointed it out to me that you seem scared, you seem depressed, you seem stuck, and you seem to be walking on eggshells. This person is not making you happy, and this person is not supporting you, and you don't seem to be flourishing in this relationship. Is there anything that I can do as a friend to support you? So by even just pointing out your observations, it will help the person to feel that, okay, there's somebody who cares about me, and maybe I can talk a little bit about it. Yeah, so these are actually telltale signs. You can tell when someone is happy and somebody is not. And you can just ask about it. You can say, it's not in my place, but you don't seem like yourself in the last few months. Is something up? You can just ask this. It doesn't have to be like specifically about the relationship, because there could be many reasons why they don't seem themselves, and this is when you can actually spark a conversation with your friend.
Cool. So actually, I have a few DMs on people asking some questions. So they're a bit shy to ask live on this live, but we have a question that says, "How does porn affect your relationship?" What do you think of that, Dr. Matali?
Oh yeah, I talk about porn all the time. A lot of my clients who are women, and it tends to be women, they find it really disgusting that their partner is watching porn, and they feel that it is wrong. However, because porn tend to depict men using women as objects, and porn tends to have it that women that orgasm and sex ends with the male orgasm or ejaculation, and so it doesn't feel good. So what a lot of people may find it hard to reconcile is that it is actually very, very common for people with penises to be visual and feel that they need to masturbate to something visual, and so they watch porn. So to them, they don't really have that same attachment to, oh, porn is depicting women in a nasty way. There are many types of porn out there actually. There's audio erotica, there is feminist and ethical porn as well. So those kinds of porns are options that your partner can watch instead, that you will feel more comfortable. And there's this term being thrown around called the porn-induced ED. And actually, there's no scientific basis for that. So even amongst my colleagues and I, there is still a lot of disagreement around whether porn is a bad thing. So personally, I feel porn is not a bad thing, and it's not the end of the world if your partner is watching porn. They may feel entitled to it. They may feel lost if you take away their porn, then they don't know how to masturbate. So what I do instead is I work with a lot of clients to support them in seeing how self-pleasure or masturbation is a way of developing sexual skills and confidence, and that they don't have to be dependent on porn, contrary to what they think. I think it's very much linked to the lack of understanding of the whole spectrum of sexual expression, that they can have mindful masturbation, they can have mental fantasy, and it's not like one is better than the other. It's just that there are different ways to do something, and the more comfortable you are with your mind, with your body, the more comfortable you will be in expressing your sexuality when you're with a partner.
Nice. Okay. Thank you for that. Dr. Mata, we have another question from a non-user. What should one do if there is a sudden low sex drive that has no determinable reason?
Okay. In a lot of long-term relationships, it's just like two magnets. You go through the honeymoon phase, you're very, very attracted to people, and that is like the sweetest time in a relationship. And most of us just wish to hold on to it for as long as we can. So when something changes, the way you feel about your partner changes, that has to do with your brain chemistry. And we're talking about two magnets being attracted to each other, and over time, they lose their magnetism. And a lot of people actually think that there's something wrong and that they are not meant to be, when in reality, how we can work on this magnetism has to also do with being creative and playful about continuing the spark in the relationship. That is a whole big conversation about how, like, for instance, absent makes the heart fonder, and working on yourself, being more adventurous and playful, so that you can keep the spark going as long as you can.
Okay, I see. But what if it's a new relationship? Does this happen also in a rather new relationship? Let's say the first month, two, everything is good, but then suddenly there is a low sex drive happening. Do you see that happening as well? And also, what do you think are some of the reasons for that?
Yeah, even in short-term relationships as short as 1 month or a few months, there are people asking this question, like, why are they less attracted to me? It's not sustainable to actually be at it like rabbits. So that is the last, and then when it goes into something deeper, where there's a respect and where there is maturity forming in the relationship, then perhaps the person may pull back. The person may pull back because the person doesn't actually want a relationship. The person maybe just after the sex, and that's it. So change can happen at any time, and sometimes it can happen even after first time sex. The person is questioning, like, do I want to take this deeper and develop further with this person, or is this just like a one-off kind of a thing?
I see. So I guess it's important to communicate like what you're looking for clearly with the other person, right?
Yes, so this is one of the reasons why a lot of people try to not have sex so early in the relationship, so that they can take care of their hearts and their bodies, because you are sharing a part of yourself that is very intimate and vulnerable, and it's not about what the other person wants, it's also about what feels good for you. If both of you are able to clearly express yourself, and that, then you're more likely to have a better outcome where there is nobody hurt. So it doesn't mean that men are like this and women are like this. Is not true. It all boils down to who you are at that moment in time.
Okay. Thank you for that. So I think the next question is, what sort of sex therapy would you recommend a lesbian couple who has been experiencing lower sex drive because of body dysmorphia? What would you say to this?
Yeah, regardless of their sexual orientation, body dysmorphia is something that needs to be addressed. So they can work with a psychologist, a body image consultant separately for that. And depending on which part of the body that involves, you can definitely do things to camouflage that part of the body, say the breast or the thighs, um, and focus on what makes you feel as positive as possible at that moment. Also, there's all these affirmations that one can use to to reframe their thoughts, because when somebody has body dysphoria, they are focusing entirely on themselves and what they think of themselves, when in reality their partner is not thinking the same. So asking your partner questions around, what do you actually think about my body, and what do you feel, and what do you feel about me, these kind of messages will help them to reframe that the way I see myself is not the same way that my partner sees me. And so it's all me. So I don't have to be so judgmental when it comes to interacting with my partner. So seeing things from their point of view can also help. But definitely I would encourage going to somebody to seek support. So when you go to a sex therapist, you can say you want to focus on a few topics. Actually, one is the body dysphoria. Sorry, I keep stumbling on it. And so the body image, that's the first one. Then the low sex drive is another, and then um, the sexual expression, that is also another. Finding creative ways to be sexually more expressive.
Okay. That's great. I think we have time for a few more questions. So there's another question from I Will Exercise. How do you identify if a relationship should end versus if it should be worked on? Well, I think that's a really interesting question. What do you think of that, Dr.
Yes.
Martha?
Yes, it's very, very good in line with this topic of toxic relationships. A relationship should end when you feel that your partner, you have tried everything and your partner is not willing to change, and your partner needs to change. And the partner needs to change because their behavior is unacceptable, is detrimental to your mental health, for instance, abusing you, and your partner is not willing to change. So this is when it is really important to end it, because as much as you care about your partner, you have to take care of yourself. And when this is affecting you to the point that you are scared and nervous around your partner, and your partner is not acknowledging that and not willing to change, then it's really a good idea to take care of yourself first and end the relationship. You cannot force someone to change based on how much you love them or how patient you are with them. You have to take care of yourself. You cannot be responsible for somebody else who doesn't want to take responsibility for their actions.
I think that's so powerful because in relationships sometimes people think that they can fix the other person, right? But I
Yeah.
think the key is to work together, and if both sides, it only works if both sides want to put in the work, right?
Yeah, that's right. You cannot change someone, and you shouldn't go around trying to fix people and thinking that love will conquer all. Because deep down, it is linked to so many other things, including their personality, their avoidance tendencies, and their childhood. So don't go around trying to fix people. Leave it to the counselors. You don't have to be a counselor when you're in a relationship. uh, you want your partner to do well, but the only time when change can happen is when your partner is ready to change. So I have so many clients who are very frustrated saying, how come one session with you can fix this issue and I have been talking about it for years? It's because they came at the time when they are willing to change. It's not because I'm so good. I cannot also take responsibility for the changes in my clients. So they are changing because they are willing to change. That's it. So it took years for them to get to that point, to be willing. And so when they see that happen, the thing that they wanted most to happen is finally happening, they sometimes cannot accept it because the grief of the lost time. So sometimes they are angry with themselves for putting out this unacceptable behavior and doing that to themselves. So sometimes, yes, you get what you want, but then when you get what you want, you may not want what you want anymore. And you ask yourself, what have I actually done to myself in putting up with all this behavior for so long?
Okay, thank you for that perspective. I think we have time for one more question. And this is, I think this is a personally, I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this. So Chandrika asks, can you work on sexual compatibility in a relationship? Or is that like a innate thing, like you need to have that instant chemistry with someone? Or is it something that can be worked on?
Yeah, so sexual compatibility is really a very big question, because a lot of times people are asking me sexual compatibility, and I'm not sure whether they understand what they're asking, because when they refer to sexual compatibility, a lot of times they're actually talking about compatible sex drives or same sex drive, and it is impossible to have the same sex drive. And I think that the sexual compatibility is same sex drive, when in reality sexual compatibility can mean so many things to so many people. So first clarify like what sexual compatibility means. But essentially a lot of times it has to do with the feel, the fit, even the fit, the skin to skin, and how well the penis fits in the vagina, for instance, or like how your bodies seem to be the right shape, size, and things like that, that feel so amazing when they touch you. And it has to do with chemistry, it has to do with attraction, and it has to do with sometimes even sexual skills and confidence and experience. If somebody has had more experience with partners, definitely they will have more ease and comfort with their own bodies, and they will have more confidence when they are also with new partners. So this feeling is very difficult to define. So the question is whether it can be cultivated, nurtured, whether it can be better. I think with more sexual skills, which I do teach, I actually have run. People don't realize this because I've been doing this for 12 years, but I have actually run more than 500 hand job, blow job workshops over the last 12 years. More than 500. And then now all these other people coming up, also wanting to run all these workshops. They can go and run these workshops, and you can attend these workshops, because oh my god, I'm so I have done so many of them. But anyway, it is a real thing when you go to a sex workshop. We're practicing on toys and everything, so it's a completely safe environment. But anyway, having said that, yes, sexual skills is actually something that you can also learn, and you don't have to learn it by sleeping around. You can actually learn it from books, from videos, and from practicing on objects, so that you are more comfortable with your hands and your feet and your mouth, and the coordination of mouth, feet, tongue, whatever. And so yeah, sexual compatibility is a very vague word. Yeah, I would have to say. So yeah, just be clear that you're not actually talking about sexual frequency, because that is a whole different topic.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that response, Dr. Martha. So I think we have reached the end of our series for today's episode of Frankly Speaking. Dr. Martha, if our users here that's on this live today want to look for you, how do they go about it? How do they connect with you?
Yes, so you can go to my website. That's Eros Coaching. That's eroscoaching.com. Yeah, I just want to apologize for all the technical difficulties, and for those of you who are still with us, thank you so much for watching this. Yeah, this is just a little bit of what I cover with clients. I do go much deeper, and I actually answer, the concerns in a much more thorough way. And it's actually very different, case by case, depending on the person. In order to answer a question properly, like I really need to ask more questions to really understand like what context, what situation they are in order to answer better. So today, I just kind of like answered them in general. So yeah, I hope it was useful to you.
Thank you, Dr. Martha. I think we have a comment from Anthony. Thank you, Doctor. Very good insights. Too many to digest for this 30 minutes, and then a round of applause. So thank you so
Oh,
much,
thank
Dr.
you.
Martha. Do you have any last words for us? Oh, Chandrika also says thank you, Dr. Martha and Frankie. Thank you, Chandrika, for joining us.
Thank you. Yes, I want to say that love is precious. Love is precious. I have worked with so many people who hold on to the sacredness of their relationship despite the sexual difficulties. And it really made me realize through all the lives that I have ever, met, that when you meet someone that you have that chemistry and connection with, it is precious because it may not come by again. So whatever issues that you have, don't sit on it for too long. Do seek help. If not me, somebody else, definitely. Because actually there are so many counselors who have worked with so many people. That's really nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed about. They are qualified, so they will facilitate the discussion so that it doesn't you don't keep having the same fights and the same issues. That's not good because that's taking an emotional and mental toll on yourself. And so we're going to a counselor early, while there's still a lot of goodwill in the relationship, is important. And it's not true that counselors just sit there and give advice. It's not true. We sit there, we facilitate the discussion, we understand what's going on, we may teach skills. And so it's actually very, very useful because it's individualized and it's customized, it's personalized, it's confidential, because we do abide by our code of ethics. So unfortunately, in our country, mental health is still very much ignored, and so is relationship health. And it's really important to get help and not be embarrassed by it, because you may not meet that special person again down the road, and you never know. You may regret that you let this go by, this person go by, and you didn't do everything that you could. So do let go of your ego and really value the relationship above like what you think is so difficult. To them, with some facilitation, who knows, you can actually work through this behavior much more quickly and smoothly.
Okay. Yeah, I think, meeting someone who you connect with, have chemistry with, have a good time with is really rare. And like, I'll keep what you said in mind, Dr. Mata, about how love is precious and how you should value all connections. Thank you so much for tonight.
Thank you for everybody.
All right, then. Thank you so much, guys. We have come towards the end of our episode, Frankly Speaking, with Dr. Martha Lee. So, if you guys want to find out more about Dr. Martha, head over to our Instagram page, and you can see Dr. Martha's page as well. And then you can check her out on her website, Eros Coaching. So, Clement says thank you, Dr. Martha, as well. So, thank you, everyone. Good night, and see you guys soon.
Thank
Bye.
you.
So that marks the end of our episode with Dr. Martha. Thank you guys for tuning in and staying with us throughout. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. Thank you for all the OGs who stuck with us from the start to the end. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Chandrika. Thank you, Clement. Yeah, thank you guys. So to end off, right, Frankie, again, we are launching at the end, towards the end of October. And Frankie, we believe that a better you begins with just one small task a day. We take you on wellness journeys which we reward you with real world rewards for. So if you guys are interested in joining our beta waitlist, it is now open. Head over to our Instagram bio, click on the link, and then click to sign up. So thank you so much, guys. Have a good night. Bye.